I also recall, because we've had conversation on this gas flaring and venting, there was an investigative hearing, also by joint House committee. I think it was led, the chairman there was Nicholas.
He's still the chairman.
He's still the chairman now. And they came up with, the recommendations, to both companies, to government, and even to private, stakeholders and all that. Now we are having this one. Are we going in cycles? Are we just going in, is this, from your perspective as an petroleum industry analyst?
Well, I think the case is that there are certain fundamentals that we have not addressed as a nation. And that is why, if you do not address the basics, what you do after that will just be come to naught in terms of what accrues to you, in terms of benefits and things like that. The question, I think the bill that I was expecting National Assembly to introduce is, how do we even measure production? Because as we speak today, I don't know how much PIA says about measurement of production, because today, when, for instance, NIT is conducting their studies to determine volume and water accrues, it's haphazard. Every producer will now say, some will say, okay, we'll measure production at export. So when royalty is supposed to be paid at, where the thing comes out of the wellheads. So the issue, why I'm saying the basics are being left, is that, what about the metering of the wellheads? Because if you meter the wellheads, you will know exactly how much gas is even coming out, from that point. You will know how much water, you know how much crude oil, and other things. And I don't buy the idea of saying that it's a necessity for us to endure this degradation of our environment and wasteful attitude of our resources. Take like Norway, they have zero tolerance for gas flaring. They are on this earth too, just like we are. The equipment to do that is available. To say that if you want to produce crude oil, you must re-inject the gas. There's nothing wrong with you saying that, because it is your wealth that you are trying to protect. Today, as we speak, we don't even have meters. When they talk about penalty and things, how do you even measure the penalty? Where are the meters? It's there in the PIA and what have you. But meters are not installed. It is still it's guesswork that is going on. So we have more fundamental issues that National Assembly should zero their mind to, because production is very important. That is where every other thing comes out from. Gas flaring, the PPT you talk about, the volume, everything. If you lose that aspect of the value chain, you've lost everything. And like you said, the Honorable here says, the producers will be more than glad to pay $10 if you want them to pay $10 as penalty, because what they need to do for you as a nation, which is to re-inject that gas and then convert it to LNG or even produce LPG that we are suffering here. We have the resources here, but we have to go and import, bottled LPG when we are flaring this thing, killing our own people, killing our environment. So I am for the addressing of the fundamental, which is how do we measure production, because that is key. Today they said that the gas flaring, the royalty is going to be paid, from export. How do you ever allow that to happen? So gas flaring, yes, I commend the effort of the gentleman, the Honorable, who introduced the bill, but it should go beyond, that chain. That node in the value chain. To go tell us, how do you produce? How do you measure production? How do we meter it? We can't go on with temperature and pressure sensors, monitoring, and you cannot even tell how much crude oil you are losing, because, and again, another very fundamental thing that we must talk about is at what point do you assign, ownership to of the crude to people who are drilling this crude or who are producing. What we do today in this country is that is when the thieves have taken whatever they want to take, everybody has done whatever they want to do, and now the man now say, okay, there's a vessel here, I'm loading 1 million barrels into the vessel, and they say we're taking 0.99% of that 1 million barrels. That is your production. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
You've lost. So how much? What about the losses? What about the measurement of all these things? Government suffers that as a nation. We continue to suffer that, and the producers do not suffer anything. You tell them to put meters. Say, okay, put meters even at the flow stations. If you don't want to put at gathering fields, if you don't want to put at the production at the wellheads, let us know what you are producing at the gathering fields, where you separate water and gas and everything. Let us know how much. They don't have. We don't have meters. You have meters only when it's going to become money for them. That's why you have physical meters.
This was part of the recommendations made by that joint house committee, to even those who oversight the regulators, that's the yes, and those who oversight,
that's why there's an argument going on now on this tax reform, when NURPC is trying to see how they can continue to loot this country by saying that they should continue to collect the royalties, which is wrong. The NRP is set up to license. You can collect licensing fees or whatever you call it before somebody comes into industry to do whatever they want to do, either as a producer or to collect gas or whatever. You can license them, collect licensing fees. That's agreeable. But when it comes to tax and royalties, there are experts in that, which is the FRS. So nobody should buy the idea. I was watching, was it Arise, 2 days ago, and Robin Abati was saying that the royalties is collected by a bank, Morgan, whatever. How does a bank come to Nigeria to collect royalties for us?
Anyway,
where is the equipment? So the tax reform should not allow NURPC to continue to collect royalties. That's what I'm saying.
Just so